This map, how it breaks down right now. And you can see the blue states, states carried by Barack Obama, red states, states carried by John McCain. Still unable to project Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Indiana, Missouri, Iowa about to close. That's a critical state as well. And then we move out west for states like Colorado, Nevada, California, Washington, Oregon. There is much more of this vote to count. And again, we want to emphasize we will not declare any candidate to be the 44th president until they get to the number 270 electoral votes, the numbers needed to win. We'll continue with more coverage of Senate races, how those have gone, try to talk a little bit about the House of Representatives as well, something we haven't been able to get to as of yet tonight. But our election coverage continues from here in Times Square in New York. Stay with us.
You're watching Election Night 2008.
All across this great land, today Americans vote. And everywhere all across the country, VCast is there with up-to-the-minute reports and video clips from ABC News. Get ABC Election Night Vote 08 on VCast, only from Verizon Wireless.
So, how's my day look?
Well, 9:30 to 1, you send funny pics to your wife. From 1 to 1:15, texting your son throughout recess. 1:15 to 3, exchanging flicks with your daughter. 3 to 4, texting aimlessly to everyone. And at 4, a budget meeting. I can push the meeting to another day.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Verizon Wireless lets you share more with your family. Get these 3 phones free when you buy select Motorola phones like the Moto 755 for $69.99.
The ballots are in. Tomorrow at a special night and time, America's decision is final.
One of them is going home.
Who will be voted off?
Haven't finished my business yet.
ABC's Dancing with the Stars, the results live at a special night and time. Tomorrow, 8, 7 Central on ABC.
ABC next Tuesday.
It's a death sentence and you know it.
When injustice strikes.
If she goes back to Pakistan, her family will kill her.
There's only one lawyer you want by your side.
You can believe me.
ABC's Eli Stone. All new next Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on ABC.
From the East Coast to the West, up north.
There's a state that, a county rather, that went overwhelmingly for George Bush. The county information we have right now is it's dead even, 50% to 50% Barack Obama and John McCain. That is a very good sign for the Obama campaign in the state of Florida, although, again, too close to call. Another very interesting county up in North Carolina. On the county map, this is Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. Look at these numbers here. These are astounding. 67% at the moment to John McCain's 33%. For comparison's sake, back in 2004, when George Bush was running against John Kerry, Kerry did pretty well, but it looks like Obama's increasing his margin in places like Charlotte and clearly in Jacksonville, Florida. Again, both of these states too close to call at the moment. On the electoral map, that's what it's all about. The biggest prize, 270. That's the big prize. Obama at 200, John McCain at 124. On your ledge, you see a clear advantage at 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Here's 270. The first one there gets the White House. Coming up on 10 o'clock on the East Coast, we can show you the poll closings one last time here. We're going to see Iowa. We're going to see the state of Nevada. We're going to see Utah. And also up here in the American West, state of Montana is 3 electoral votes. That's coming up in about 1 minute and 24 seconds here. Britt, back to you.
Well, of course, one of the ones that we're going to be closely watching is we're going to be watching Nevada, where that turned into a battleground state, as you know, Bill. And Iowa, of course, was a red state this last time around, but that was really not thought one that I guess McCain went there, but that was thought a tough state for.
Yeah, ethanol was a big issue for Senator McCain in that state going back to 2000. You see where Al Gore, the margin here was so small 8 years ago, 49 to 48% for the state of Iowa. In 2004, that's a state that George Bush won, but again, very close, just a percentage point, 50% to John Kerry's 49. In 2008, polls are going to close there in a matter of minutes, Britt.
Seconds, really. Well, we're looking at, we do have one state we can call, Bill. This will be no surprise, and it's actually already turned up on your map red, and that is the state of Texas for John McCain. The polls closed there at, 9 o'clock, so that was one, nobody went there. Big state, you'd think somebody would have gone, but it was pretty clear that Obama wasn't going to turn it, and McCain didn't need to go, and so he didn't. We're now 15 seconds away from the 10 p.m. closing. And as we've mentioned, there's some big ones at 10 o'clock. Nevada being the only real battleground state in the group, so we'll be watching to see if we'll have a chance to call that. It appears at this point that we're not going to be able to call that at 10, but we can call Utah for John McCain, and Iowa, no great surprise, although it's a switch, for Barack Obama. And it is because of states like that, those two, that Iowa and also New Mexico, that John McCain needed, in Virginia and other states where he was challenged, that John McCain needed to rush into Pennsylvania and try to pull something off. So it's not 10. We do have a gubernatorial call we can make also in the state of Utah. We're calling that for, let's see if we can get a board up on the Utah governorship. Polls are closed now there. Well, anyway, the Republican Huntsman incumbent, I believe, has won election to the governorship in Utah. Let's turn for more on the Senate races to Chris Wallace. Chris?
Thank you, but I got to say, sitting next to Karl Rove is a bit of a trip when you announced that Texas had gone for for John McCain. Karl is sitting next to me. Go ahead, do what you were doing. He was doing hook 'em horns. Oh boy, it's always interesting with Karl. Have a cookie, Karl. Anyway, we got 4 races to call for you in the Senate, and there's one big one, and we're going to wait to get to that one, but. First of all, in the state of Texas, and you can begin, the eyes of Texas are upon you, John Cornyn, the Republican incumbent, has won, according to Fox News projections, a second term in the state, running against State Representative Rick Noriega. Pretty tough for a Democrat to win in the state of Texas. No Democrat has won in the Senate there since Lloyd Bentsen in 1988, and John Cornyn keeps it an all-red state in the Senate. In the state of Montana, Max Baucus, the incumbent, seeking a 6th term, and he wins it. He's an important man on Capitol Hill, chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. He's running against a fellow named Bob Kelleher, who had run at least 16 times as a Democrat, a Republican, and a Green Party member over the years. He didn't win as this time. In Iowa, the incumbent, Tom Harkin, liberal Democrat, seeking a 5th term. He beats Christopher Reed in his first run for public office. Let me just quickly say one thing here. This race got a little nasty. In the last debate, Reed accused Harkin of being the Tokyo Rose of al-Qaeda and Middle East terrorism, providing aid and comfort to the enemy by calling for a withdrawal of troops from Iraq. The voters of Iowa were not persuaded, and they have reelected Mr. Harkin. And this is the big one. In the state of Mississippi, in that special election, Fox News now declares that the incumbent senator appointed to fill out the term of Trent Lott has won in his own right. He has beaten Ronnie Musgrove. Yeah, there's no check mark there, but we call it for Roger Wicker. And the significance of that is that means that unless the Democrats pull off an upset in one of the states that was not a toss-up, they are not going to get to the magic number of 6.
Talk to some of the senior advisors who are with the gathered throng of McCain supporters, and they now acknowledge, more than a few of them, that, quote, there doesn't appear to be any path. That a reference to the idea that Senator McCain's strategy had long been to win the Bush states of 2004, which would have given him 286 electoral college votes, and to perhaps have pickups in Pennsylvania and New Hampshire for an additional cushion. But the absence of New Hampshire and Pennsylvania, blue states, the loss of Ohio and the loss of New Mexico dropped.
The caucuses can make or break candidates, and certainly made him as a candidate.
And a triumph for organization as well.
Indeed. Not there yet, but Barack Obama with now 207 electoral votes. John McCain with 135. 270 needed to win the presidency. So let's go to Jake Tapper, who is with the Obama campaign in Grant Park. Jake?
Good evening, Charlie. Well, the mood obviously is improved quite a bit with the news of ABC News and other networks calling Ohio and New Mexico for Senator Obama. Speaking of Iowa, I wanted to share something that I was told by a senior advisor to the Obama campaign. When Senator Obama started this journey a couple years ago, he told his senior team that he wanted to do 3 things if they were to engage in this presidential race. 1, he wanted to have fun. 2, he wanted to make sure that he didn't read about them sniping at each other in the newspaper. And 3, he wanted it to be grassroots, from the bottom up, an homage to his